Good morning, all. It's a little, I'm not on my own technology. I have a few things I'm dealing with here, but it's good to see you all. Oh, no, I want to see everybody's faces for a couple of minutes
Okay.
before, and then we can spotlight if you want, just because I want to see everybody. All right, let me change my view here. It's um, it's an interesting commitment getting up at this hour. Well, his mama is not an early riser, but I am happy to be here with you. It was a fun challenge to make sure that I was up and ready for you this morning. I'm under a skylight, so hence the bright light coming over my head. But it is, we're dealing with a lot of sunshine in Southern California. It's an amazing thing. I'm here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Capistrano Valley, worked with their practitioners in leadership Friday night and Saturday. We had an amazing experience. And then today I talk and I come home on Monday. So I am happy to be here with you and I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be both. So today's title, and where wait a minute, where'd it go? Because I lost my document. There it is. Today's title is The Heart of the One Who Serves. And there's a story I've told many of you many times. Some of you were there for the story, but I want to tell the story as an example of what happens when you have a goal, a single idea, and a passion about getting something done, and how the passion, and I think for me, I feel like it was the passion gets all that's in the way out of the way. Sometimes I think that it's very possible that we get a little, we're easily deterred. We have a goal and then we get deterred from the goal. But I think that's because we're not clear about what it is that we're serving when we have that goal sometimes. So, matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, I love my chiropractor. I use a chiropractor as my main source of physical support, and I was telling her that I had been working very, very hard, but I felt very good. And she said, "That's because you're on purpose." And I mentioned that a while ago. Richard Cummings made note of that comment. And the thing about it is when you align your heart, your purpose, and your activity, when those are in alignment, it is amazing how physically good you get to feel, how spiritually fed you get to feel. And so being in service has that effect on you. And I'm going to actually read something to you, which I only have on my phone at the moment, but I'm going to read that in a minute. But the story I want to tell was the time that we had the Agape Choir. Now we're talking 20 years ago, and I know Marcy and Joe were there. David, I don't know if you were there. Ty was there. Donald was there. There was a few others. And what happened was, and we were brand new. We were brand spanking new. And yet we didn't have a building. For 5 years, remember, we didn't have a building. We used a Sunday morning space, and we did that in a variety of places. And my home was our office. It was our boardroom. It was our meeting place. It was a place that held all files. It was we then when we needed a printer because we couldn't do the printer anymore, running back and forth the staples. We used to produce a newsletter, and Celine and I would be running out to the Staples at all sorts of hours. So finally we said, okay, we need a printer. The things that we went through to deliver were, at this point, you might call annoying or irritating. But for us, it was this rush to serve. There was just this rush to be on purpose. So anyway, what happens is there was a woman who was part of the Agape Choir, and her name was Jennifer. Jennifer had a friend who lived here on the East Coast, Denise. Denise was part of our community, and she was becoming a practitioner. So what happened was every other year, the Agape Choir would come east, and they would come and Michael would address the United Nations, and usually they would perform somewhere. But this particular year, they didn't make arrangements to perform anywhere. It costs a lot of money to bring this choir out. And so at the very last minute, I get a phone call from Denise, who had spoken to Jennifer, who had talked to the choir, or probably Ricky Byers, and said, "Wow, we need a place to perform. Everybody make phone calls." No, we have nothing, but we said yes, because I'm no fool. It's Michael Beckwith. It's Ricky Byers. It's the choir. Who says no to them? However, others had all of the bigger communities and the communities that had sanctuaries. They said no, which was like, how do you say no to the Agape Choir? So anyway, we said yes, and the very next day, Reverend Rich Volk and I were knocking on doors, to literally knocking on doors of churches to say, can we have a choir or a concert here? Well, we finally found place, and we found a place where the gentleman, he was this lovely man. He was a gay man, a gay minister in Montclair. So he had a different sense of things anyway. And he went and looked right away, immediately caught the vision, realized who they were, and said yes. They didn't charge us anything. But then we had to bring in a sound system, and we had to bring in choir, what do you call them, Ty? Choir risers. We had to bring in risers. We had to bring in a sound system. We had to organize the music behind the scenes. We had to sell tickets. We had to create marketing. I had to organize a bus because a bunch of us wanted to go see Michael and the choir over at the United Nations. So we had to organize buses to come from New Jersey to New York and back. And then we had to organize a bus to get the choir from New York to New Jersey and back. Can you catch that? You know how long we had to do all that? 17 days. 17 days. And I wish right now you were not muted, because I want to hear your shock, because the fact is that, how did that happen? How did we in 17 days move everything out of the way that needed to be out of the way? I want you to really catch that. And I know that it was an inspired idea. We were turned on and synced up to spirit, and everything that could have gone wrong didn't, because we were on purpose. Now, mind you, Ricky didn't know who I was at the time. She really didn't. It was our first engagement. So I guess I was probably a little cocky or confident, really, but I think she might have read it as cocky. So she wasn't sure about this white chick who was about to have the Agape Choir. But she got to know me. And I want to tell you, in the middle of all this, my back went out. So in the middle of this chaos, I had to go to a chiropractor. I was in pain. I didn't even tell her. I was visioning with her flat because I couldn't stand up. But yet I knew that everything that was in the way would get out of the way. That's what I want you to hear. When you're on purpose, there are no blocks. There might be slight deterrents. There might be things you have to figure out. But the fact is, when you are in service to a bigger idea, things move, mountains move. And yet when you question, when you're feeling, if you feel confused, or if you feel a little concerned about the way things are going, you're not looking high enough. And what I mean by that is that you need to look above the problem. You need to have your vision go forward and go up. Because down here is where we engage the issues. It's where we engage the problems. It's where we believe in our limitations. But up here, we have this lighter look. We engage a whole different energy. And if you want to say it, you don't have to, but there's a spiritual connection that happens when we look toward the heavens, towards consciousness. That doesn't happen when we're wallowing in the, oh, I don't know if it's going to work. Oh, this is too hard. I got to be honest. We and I said this yesterday to the community that I was serving. For those people who know more, when you know more, you're more responsible. And that responsibility has the ability of driving you to an experience of greatness. And I know this is an old quote, but it's one of my favorites ever because it was who we were when we started 20 years ago. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. A small group of thoughtful, committed citizens. We drove mountains when we were a new community. We got a little lax in the middle, but I got to tell you, the heart of who we are still exists. It still exists. And I'm telling you, we got to get back. We have to get back in person. We've got to not look for a place, but accept our place. We have got, all of us energetically have got to say, okay, enough is enough. We're ready to be in person again. We're ready to change lives again. And that happens in a greater way when we are in person. So I know when I come home, I am going to be supporting the relocation team, and we are going to identify a location. By the way, for years, Ricky Byers called us the little church that could. Because of the fact that we were the only ones who said yes to this big idea when other larger communities were frightened and staying out of the whole idea. But I want to read to you a lot of the work that I do behind the scenes is I do a lot of research and reading and studying about, especially from medical doctors or academics, about emotions, the effect of emotions, and how it relates to who we are and how we can use our principles to rise above and not be stuck by some of our emotions. So this is from a book called, hold on, I want to give it to you properly. Oh, Timeless Healing by Herbert Benson. Timeless Healing. It was a under-celebrated book. Someone just recently told me about it, but it's a fascinating book. Priscilla, I see you looking for a pen. Just you ask me next time and I'll give it to you. Don't worry about it. We'll be seeing each other tomorrow night. Don't be scampering. You'll be driving yourself crazy. I want to read to you what he wrote about altruism. Okay? It's a teeny bit long, but I want you to get it. He says, traditional religion has always encouraged believers to help others, to be altruistic, to tithe and to spread the good word. But in the process of sharing the wealth, believers also garner better health. My friend Alan Lukes, whom I met when he was executive director of the Institute for the Advancement of Health, now serves as executive director of Big Brothers Big Sisters of New York. Luke's devoted a book to documenting the healing power of doing good. In a survey of thousands of volunteers across the nation, Luke's discovered that people who help other people, this is the important part, people who help other people consistently report better health than peers in their age group. Many also say that their health markedly improved when they began volunteer work. And I want you to really catch that. Luke's calls this phenomenon the helper's high. 95% of those he surveyed indicated that helping others on a regular personal basis gives them a physical good sensation, 9 out of 10 identified specific characteristics of the physical sensation or rush, including a sudden warmth, increased energy, and a sense of euphoria. They also reported long-term effects of greater calm and relaxation. Not only does the act of doing good bring about this helper's high, 8 out of 10 of the volunteers surveyed said the health benefits returned when they later remembered the helping act. Imagine that, when they later remembered the helping act. It's important to note that the overall rewards noted in Luke's survey were reaped from helping strangers, not just family and friends. Although the causes were diverse, the selfless act of helping others always resulted in enhanced health and making altruism a visible form of self-care. So, boy, there's a lot in there. And I know that over the years when I've counseled someone whose life like wasn't quite working, often I will tell them, get involved in something else, get involved in a community. Now that ties together with the information I gave you a while ago from Lisa Rankin's book, Mind Over Medicine. Maybe you'll remember this. She said that people connected to a community, this is our community, that people connected to a community add, like, I think she said for white folks, she was specific about this, add like 7 years to their life. For people of African or people of color, they add up to 14 years of their life. Those are big or dramatic statistics. So basically what that's saying, that when I'm focused on you, I don't have time for my petty problems. When I'm focused on giving to you, I don't have time to think that I don't have enough. Because in order to give, I must have enough. I must. And when if I don't think I have enough, when I want to propagate a flow, all I have to do is answer an invitation to serve. Often, we've had a big lesson the past couple of years. COVID has taught us many lessons. But the fact is that oh shoot, I just got distracted, sorry, as somebody walked by here. It's not home. I'm saying that COVID, like, had us slow down and be here. But when I remember when I was becoming a practitioner and a minister, I had my son Seth, who was a baby. I had Keith at home too. I had a job, I was working. I decided to become a practitioner. Before my practitioner work was done, I decided to become a minister. Then what happened was, I decided to get a coaching certification. Finishing my practitioner, beginning my ministerial, getting a coaching certification. I had a child, I had a job, and I served at the Morristown Church on the board. And I think about that now, I think to myself, I was out of my mind. I was clearly out of my mind. But the fact is, I was on purpose. And while people are all, everybody's very concerned about self-care now, and that's an important thing. Sometimes you have to jumpstart the activity by giving of time and talent and treasure, so that you're because you know what, folks, in terms of life, we're specks of dust on the earth. We're, in terms of what really matters, like you brush dust off your your bureau. Well, that's kind of like us, unless you're plugged in. Because when you're plugged in, life is good and life is juicy. The result of watching somebody benefit from your love is an enormous gift that we give ourselves and that we give to others. And many of you here are those people. Many of you here have served for years, when we were in person, right? So here's what I want to leave you with. If life is feeling restricted, give. If life is feeling hard and not quite working, give. Give of your time. Find something that serves you. If it's family, serve family. If it's your neighborhood, serve in your neighborhood. Whatever it is, be of service. Be of service, and that opens your heart and that creates flow. So I don't want to be irresponsible, and I'm not prepared to really talk about it today. But I know many of you are sitting in a bunch of actually some of you are probably full out angry about the recent Roe versus Wade reversal. And I'm not yet at this moment prepared to, I'm not in my home, I'm not in my setting, but I want to say that here's where we as a force can make a difference. I'm not even going to share more than that at the moment, but we'll put some time aside and we'll discuss just what this means and what do we do with those feelings when we feel an injustice. It's not so much whether you're in agreement or you're not in agreement. It's not so much whether I think it's right or wrong. I'm not talking about my personal views, but I do want to acknowledge the amount of people that I know, the sheer numbers of individuals who are in, I would say almost a state of horror that a right has been just taken away, that we've been enjoying for 50 years. Enjoying is not the word, but that we've been benefiting from for 50 years. So we will get back to that. I just wanted to say it. I didn't want to just skirt over everything. But together, let's know in consciousness, because this is where we shift. I speak this word today for every individual listening. I speak this word recognizing that the power and presence of God, of love, of energy, of intelligence by any name avails itself to, through, and as each of us here. In this activity of mind and spirit, there is a calling for each of us to find our individual role of service that moves our heart, opens our mind, allows our energetic flow, and it is good and very good. I bless each person that finds their role. I bless each individual as life opens up on your behalf because of the activity of your life. I call this good and very good. And I surrender this word to love and to law. And so it is. Okay. So thank you, Donald. Thank you. I'm very excited. My ministry, when it was first created, demanded that I'm going to play with something here for a second. Hold on. My ministry always demanded creativity. Donnie, just so you know, you're highlighted. And my ministry, from the very moment I started, it was very, very obvious to me that I was always going to require that we take a teaching and we bring it out loud, and we provide color and music and artistry of some kind. And as you all know, because there's no one here not new, Donnie has been that person for me. But E, who's with us today, and I'll let them, I'll let you figure out who she is, because that's part of this skit. We're here today to bring a fun bit of education to you, that to honor our Gay Pride Month. And so, without further ado, I introduce to you today Donnie and E. And where are you, E? Where'd she go? Sorry. I'm on a different computer and a whole, oh, there you are. Hi, darling. I'll spotlight you in a sec. There you are. Great. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Why don't you pick up your phone? I was waiting to talk to you. I am so irritated. So you told me to call the other phone. And I'm like, why is her phone off?
There. They, them, there.
Okay, fine. Sorry. Why is their phone off? Anyway, I just...
Okay.
What?
Go ahead. Nothing.
I'm trying. I just spent all morning in a workshop of people telling me who I am. First of all, LGBT, you know I get that wrong anyway.
How are you getting that wrong? You're literally gay.
I'm literally just gay, like in my bedroom. But anyway, listen.
Wait, you're just gay in your bedroom? Well, I mean, I'm gay them everywhere.
Like, you know, just talking in rainbow. Anyway, listen. LGBTQQIPTAA. They added another A and another Q.
Okay.
So, I don't know, like, okay, they're trying to tell me, okay, I'm gay, right? I'm a woman who likes women. But I'm kind of bi,
I guess.
and that's fine. Whatever. But now they're saying maybe I'm demisexual or questioning. Like, why can't I just be my gay self? And then in the beginning, we had to all do pronouns. I mean, I just feel like I am who I am. I'm Donnie. Why do I got to give you pronouns? Like you're they now. Okay, I can understand why you'd want to give a pronoun, but why do I have to alter my whole entire way I communicate with people? Because people are sitting in the gay boardroom adding more letters. What?
I mean, why should Black people have equity and equality? Answer that question.
It's not the same.
It absolutely is the same.
Explain.
You're gay, right? Queer, lesbian, whatever you're calling yourself, right? Do you think you should be able to label yourself as lesbian? Or do you walk into places with your girlfriend and go, you know what, this is actually a heterosexual relationship and we're just pretend, like, come on, you want a label for your relationship. You want a label for yourself.
No, I just show up as I am. I don't really like, hi, I'm Donnie, I'm gay, I'm Black, and I'm a woman, in case you didn't know. And make sure you always refer to me as that.
Your name isn't even Donnie. Think about that. You changed your name, Dorothea. Your name is Donnie. You wanted people to call you Donnie, so you changed it. We call you Donnie. I am E, no longer Erica. How hard is it? You did it 3 times. You got a bunch of names. Ew. Yes, I did say that.
No, I don't. But even with you, like, I know I'm messing up a lot, but it is hard that I've known you.
It's not that hard.
I'm talking. It is hard. I've been calling you Erica for over 10 years. I know you intimately, so you're a whole girl. And now you're telling me you're not a whole girl, that you're a whole non-binary person. And I'm just, boom, supposed to just adjust. And I'm trying to. But
okay, let me explain something.
I'm calling friend because I feel intolerant and I'm really kind of ashamed, but I'm still feeling intolerant and frustrated and put upon.
I understand. I feel the same way. I didn't know, when I came out the womb, they pulled my beautiful baby ass out and they just smacked me and they said, oh, vagina girl. I've never felt like a girl. I also don't feel like a boy. I don't feel like the things that were assigned to me. And I hate that it took me until 48 years old, but I didn't know I had another choice until young people are now talking about non-binary and how they don't feel like a girl, they don't feel like a boy. And I'm like, oh my God. And I started crying. I was like, are you kidding me? There's another designation. And then the more I learn about white supremacy and all that other stuff, the designations for the rainbow of sexual gender identity, rather, was broken down into just male, female. And we were forced to accept that. But most cultures, especially indigenous and African cultures, are not limited by male and female or girl, boy, or she, her, him. You know what I mean? So
I,
I got excited because there's another way that fits who I am.
I hear you. And you know how I feel? I feel like how I imagine some privileged white women feel. Like they're living their lives in, their white land, and they're good people, but then they have to be introduced to inequity. And it's like infringing upon their day-to-day suburban, oh my God, my car is dirty life. And I kind of feel like infringed upon because I can't even speak in public without messing up someone's pronoun. When I look at them and they look like a gender I'm used to, and I have to always remember, and I'm just making mistakes all the time about someone's pronoun. I do feel bad about it, but I just can't wrap my head around it.
Maybe it's not about you.
What do you mean?
I mean, maybe it's not about how you feel and what your experience is. Maybe it's just not about you. I mean, would you call George Leonard? No, you would call George George.
I don't get the connection.
Maybe I don't get the connection either. Maybe that didn't make full sense. I accept that. But either we change with the world or we, in my opinion, we don't. And this is not even a change that I'm doing for the world. Like, this is just something I stumbled upon, Donnie. I didn't plan to be they, them. I wasn't sitting around like, oh, I'm gonna do this. I was also like LGBTQIA. And then I realized there's something beautiful in adding the letters because at some point, everyone is added. And then we don't need the gosh darn letters anymore. You know what I mean? The letters are to identify that, hey, intersex is okay, queer is okay, asexual is okay. The other ones, bisexual, all that stuff is okay.
Questioning and ally are now part of the rainbow, and allies are straight people. So
and now everybody's a part of it. It's kind of beautiful when we realize we're all a part of it. And that we can have labels if we want to. If you want to be called Donnie, everybody calls you Donnie. I want to be called E, it's a transition, but people called me E when I was a little kid. I've always been E to some folks.
I'm really trying. I just
I
feel
know.
put upon, and it's uncomfortable because being gay, being Black, being a woman is like a triple minority, and I want people to respect all of my variations of myself. I do feel a little horrified that I am just not tolerant at all. The whole training, my lips was poked out, and I was just like, whatever. And I feel bad about that. I'm just having a hard time. And it's making me think of older people too who are having a hard time trying to embrace this brand new thing.
Can I share something with you?
Say that again?
Can I share something with you?
Please.
And maybe this will make it clear. And I mean, I think we'll keep working on it. It's a work in progress. I have to love you through this. You have to love me through this. And I think with that in mind, at least, and of course the teachings, right? CSL teachings, I think we can get through it. I know it's not on purpose when you mess up, but I would appreciate if you wouldn't laugh about it and make fun about it and go them. Like, and there's certain people who are in an age group, my mother being one of them, she's 72 in a week, in a week. And she said, I'm trying to call you E. And I was like, Mom, please don't ever say that again, because she goes, E. And I'm like, oh my God, it's horrible.
So you feel like I'm making fun of you, and she's making fun.
It feels like being made fun of. It's not E, it's not they, them, it's like she'll make little jokes. And and I started off making jokes about it because I was uncomfortable. And I know what I look like to other people, but who cares? I know what I feel like. And I know I never felt like a girl in the sense that I see girls or women. I just don't feel that. I don't. I never have. I've dressed a certain way because my body was a certain way and I was told what to do. I feel like we've been told how to address people and what to do. And I just wasn't told this was an option. And now it is. And it fits me. It's like a good, I guess I don't wear bras anymore, I wear binders. But for women, it's like finding the perfect bra after you've been wearing a bad bra for years and years and years. And then you get the perfect bra. You know what I'm talking about, Michelle. And it's like, oh my God, my breasts can rest and still be held up.
Never had that. But I understand the
Because
analogy.
you don't wear bras. We'll get
Thank
through
you
this.
for letting me vent. I feel like, too, the cancel culture, had I said this in public, I'd be like canceled from my little life because it's so politically incorrect when I'm making fun of they, them, and it, calling you it. I do apologize. I will try better. Trying. It's
I
just
know,
a really
friend.
new time and it's difficult.
I understand that, friend. Thank you for trying, and we'll keep having these conversations, and I'll keep correcting you. Okay?
Okay. Are you going to the parade?
No, I'm prided out. I'm done with pride. Here's my pride.
Yay. Have a beautiful parade. I'll talk to you later.
All right, hon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ladies, please stay with me. Stay with me.
Yes,
Me and
I'm
Donnie,
here.
can you come back? Beautiful. Thank you. Donnie, can you come back, honey? Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. First of all, let's thank them. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And do you mind? Can we do a little impromptu Q&A? Not that Q&A, but get questions and answers. Because this is a tough conversation. And I too will admit, I'm always willing, but I feel so baffled because it's like I'm doing life at 65 now. Holy crap! And somebody threw in a new set of rules, and I'm like, oh shit! Sorry. Oh damn! This is a new set of rules. And I want to acknowledge, and what I love what you're saying, Dee, is that I hear a tolerance because I don't think we have a bunch of people in our community that are intolerant. But I appreciate the patience for allowing us to catch up. I'm sorry, it's the pronoun thing for me is confusing, and that not because the identity thing. I'm fine. That's like a non-event to me. I want you as you are. What I have trouble with is the literal because of the pronouns and my English understanding of the pronouns. But
That makes
I
total
wanted
sense.
to.
And I
Yeah.
can add into that. I have problems sometimes because I have a hashtag that I do. I sheed myself. I didn't mean to she myself, but I'm also still learning, right? And though I feel they, them, it's been 47 and a half, or 46 years rather, of she, her, woman. And understanding it's been a hard call for me too, because it means that I'm giving up my am I giving up my Black woman designation, which feels like a badge of honor. But I also know that when I look out of my eyes, I don't feel like a Black woman like that. I don't feel woman or man. I feel E and non-binary.
And even though this was
Yeah.
a skit, I do have some of those feelings I was portraying. But at the end of the day, I do feel freedom is allowing people to be who they see themselves, and we respecting that. It's just that simple. It's just that simple, though it doesn't seem that simple because of my biases, training, and conditioning.
Can I tell you a secret though? If you mess it up, just say my bad. Because people say they feel so bad, they say, oh, that's she. Or ask. If you're unsure, just ask. Most people are okay to say explain it.
I'm bringing some other people onto our spotlight, people that I want to celebrate. And if there's anybody else in here who I have not recognized who would like to come on screen, I would like to do that because one of the beautiful things, and your faces, you specifically, and others who have been through our community, it is a glorious honor that you guys are in our community. And I want to celebrate, for Gay Pride Month, I want to celebrate you all because we are always teaching. We are always learning and you're always teaching us and modeling what acceptance and I don't like the word tolerance. I don't like that word at all, but full out acceptance and diversity and inclusion looks like, and it's more than just color. So I want to thank you all, and I want to honor each and every one of you that fall in this category in any letter, because of the beauty that you bring and the creativity that you bring. And so let us as a community love and honor our people. There's more, but since they haven't chosen to come on screen, I'm not going to highlight them. Everybody gets to stay honor, although I kind of pulled Sal and Ty in. I hope that that's okay. Is there any words that either one of you would like to offer real quick to our community?
Well, I'll just echo. Where's my voice today? I was hanging out with my family yesterday, so that's why my voice sounds like a frog. But nonetheless, it is a new thing. It is a new thing for many of us. I'm 66, so um, changing gears, changing ideas and ways of thinking and being, it's not an easy thing. And and I've been gay all my life. It's not new, you know. So it's not like I'm not embraced various and sundry expressions of sexuality and gender, but it is like Donnie was saying, been conditioned to think, A, B, just two expressions and only two expressions. And of course, we get a lot of backlash when we see people who are not expressing that way. And it's like marriage is between a man and a woman, all that kind of craziness and that harshness and that rigidity that you know, it I get it, but I also get that we are not where we were, and we are not who we once were as a society, and that we have to evolve in order to survive.
Well, well, I just want to tie in here. Well, no pun intended. Um, that Hollywood is doing a lot to change the minds and the hearts. You cannot watch a new movie or a cartoon where there is not same sex relationships. I mean, I think my favorite thing about the series Bridgerton was that it's like they threw together these actors and these colors and this kaleidoscope. So that takes a little longer, but it's entering the consciousness of the next generation. And Hollywood, I have to applaud them for showing us what's possible, which is a beautiful thing. But Sal, did you want to offer anything in here?
Well, I mean, all I could say is for me, it's taken me almost 63 years to start loving myself, the all of me. And it's a process. It's a process. And I'm so glad I have this work because there's a lot to be said about it. Like, it really has me be okay just the way I am.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful.
And it's
Beautiful.
kind of
Thank
like
you.
the television. None of us here grew up with a cell phone, not one of us. We
Nope.
all had to get used to the cell phone, and now it is stuck to our hip. We all grew up with black and white TV, well, most of us. Black and white. Some of us didn't even have like the turny buttons. I don't know what was before me. I had the little box on the floor. So we learned how to use the technology as it
Mhm.
grew.
Yep.
This is words in the English language and hearts and minds and ideas in the English language that are changing. So think of it like the smartphone. And if you think of it as easy, then it's not hard. It's just a practice, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I also want to say, as a conscious community, my hope for everyone listening and for everyone connected to our community is that it is about elevating our awareness and love. This is about love. If I'm truly loving you, I'm not demanding how you show up. So,
Mm.
around the RSI ministers community, often people will say, you can't stand against something. It's based out of Mother Teresa. You stand for something, you don't stand against something. That sounds nice, but I got to tell you, I'm going to take a stand against any harm to my people. You know, and
I love,
what, Donnie?
I love your phrase. Every once in a while, you say a thing. You can't demand how people show up. Is brilliant. That's going on my refrigerator this week.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm not going to stand by and witness harm. I don't do that. You know, that's why the whole anti-racism conversation in our community, and the same thing here. And so I love you all, and I thank the two of you for that skit. I hope the whole community really enjoyed it. We got to be educated and entertained simultaneously, because you guys are a hoot. So I love you and I thank you. I'm going to take you off a spotlight, and we have a great song. We have our blessed Lynette Sheard coming on right now. And thank you all for being here.